Hey guys, so Lord here, back again with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the Masters of the Universe Origins Turtles of Greyskull Skeletor. The Lord of Destruction himself. This, of course, brought to us by the fine folks over at Mattel, and is the last figure of Wave 3 of this line we will be looking at, because it's the last figure in Wave 3, a lone tier for Wave 3 of the Turtles of Greyskull line. But I do have one more Turtles of Greyskull related figure coming your way tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. It's not new, but it's new-ish, so hopefully we'll generate some traffic. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, why don't we cut right to the chase and get into meat and taters of this review and take a look-see at all Skeletor has to offer in terms of accessories, starting off with the mini comic, same one everyone comes with. Got your cross-sell on the back, and you got the pamphlet in case you're a incompetent monkey butt and don't know what you're doing. That said, I'm going to show this first before I lose it. He does come with an ooze canister. Find these at your local sperm bank. No, these of course turn the turtles and all of their mutant fellas and friends and enemies and frenemies and pen pals into scary monsters or anthropomorphic animal creatures, or as an insensitive jackass like myself likes to call them, fucking furries. But you get this can of ooze there. Pretty sweet. Some people will probably give that to the Shredder. I'm surprised they didn't all come with one of those. Back in the 2003 days, I think all the figures came with an ooze canister, but I could be wrong. That said, we do have his Havoc Sickle nunchuck things, which, like the Michelangelo, have a bit of a gummed up chain. At least for mine, there's a ton of flashing that keeps them from just kind of hanging loosely. And you can't really utilize these in both hands. Otherwise, I would put these in both hands. That way I could give that ooze canister to someone else, but what are you going to do? And that's your lot. His helmet is not removable. It does have a removable cape, though. Pop his head off, take the cape off. You could throw this on, I don't know, your 2000X Skeletor, maybe. It's a windswept, tattered cape. Looks pretty cool. I could see you throwing this on Scareglow, too. That would look kind of neat, but that is that. Now we'll pop his noggin back on, just to see that it sits awful high without that cape. So if you want to use this guy for Skeletor, you're going to need to keep that cape, because he looks kind of goofy with this stuff kind of hanging out. He's got hair. I almost think he has hair. That's weird. He's got the shield ports too, which if you have the where did I put it? Somewhere up here. There it is. Yeah. Hopefully you didn't see my kneecap there, but the Beastman shield, you can plug this in back here. Give him that instead, if you are so inclined. But personally, I like the cape, so we won't be doing that. As far as articulation on this guy goes, he's got the double ball peg in the head, so you can look up and down and tilt, rotate. Shoulders go out, back down, rotate forward and back. He's got a swivel in the elbow with a hinge. Hindered by his gauntlets, which on this side on mine is a little loose. Not gonna lie. Especially when I straighten the arm. Like, these I don't care for very much. This one's fine, but the other one's kind of loose, so I'm debating on replacing that. Maybe if my good buddy Evil Villain's not gonna use his, he'll be nice enough to hook me up with a tight one, put on mine, but whatever. He does also have a hinge in the wrist with a swivel. So it's a waist twist. He can kick out to the side, back, down, forward, and back. Single knee, boot cut, hinge at the foot with the rocker, and that's your lot. There's a lot of green going on too, probably to stimulate the slime pit or something. But either way, popping that off. Let's give him his cape back. I like him better with the cape than the shield. Now we can plug the damn head on. What the fuck? What the fuck? Stupid thing doesn't want to go on. Really? Just drag my video out, why don't you, little bastard? Right. There we go. There he is. With his cape, looking full again. And very much like 2000X Samurai Skeletor. Samurai Armor Skeletor. Hope we get a He-Man like this. I think we need one. That Hobo Storm Shadow cosplay looking He-Man sucks to me. It looks very lame in comparison to this. So I'm hoping we see that He-Man gets the Samurai Armor treatment at some point in this line. But then we'd have 3 fucking He-Men. Like, really? Give me some other characters, why don't you? So that being said, it's time now that we move right along and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here's good old Skeletor, the Lord of Destruction, alongside the Shredder, who, not gonna lie, I think he came out a little better. An old bone face here, but it's still Skeletor, one of my favorites, so can't really knock him too much. We also have the evil henchman in disguise, Beastman, who's one of the very select few that does not have the shell shield adapter ports on his back, even though he came with one. Skeletor has them, but he didn't come with anything to put there. His cape doesn't even plug in there, so I'm not too sure what the hell's going on there. That's kind of whack. And Shredder doesn't have one either, but he does have the cape, and it does peg into the armor, so that is that. These two out of the way. And if you ask me, Slacker is still probably the best figure out of this line. Maybe. That aside, we have our 2 regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibilith, right there, and the infamous 11 Spawn, who, as usual, towers over everyone, because he is not a 5.5-inch figure. So, with that being said, it is time now that we move right along and wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and while he may not be as good as his predecessor, the Shredder, that came before him, I will say that of the entirety of Wave 3 of the Turtles of Greyskull line, this guy's probably still my second favorite, because you can't go wrong with good old Skeletor, the Lord of Destruction himself. But let's face it, he's no walking weapons rack like Casey Jones, right? So, with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.